Tales of the Empire.
I saw my boy at the
Who's your boy?
Darth
Got some asthma. Gotta get that.
I do.
You know,
My throat closed the other day.
every time I see them do a pan shot of Vader and it's just his boots, I just start, boom, 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 boom. These boots are made for walking. I don't know why they do it to him. Give us a cape shot, give us the.
I have boots tattooed.
She's got the. Can you see it?
I have
Show
boots.
the camera.
I have boots tattooed.
Got the boots. Wow, Tales of the Empire. This is an exciting series for me at least. I mean, I'll ask you what you think, but so cool that we're getting another animated series. It's dropping in 4 weeks. We don't even have to wait. They're gonna drop them all at once. I love when they do this. We had Tales of the Jedi before. Great show, quick arcs. It filled in some gaps, but man, Dave Filoni is killing it right now.
If you're new to our reviews and feedback, I am a new-ish Star Wars fan. So this trailer for me was exciting because I know where we're at in the timeline of
Oh,
this
that's cool.
universe. And I'm starting to recognize characters, and we'll talk about their backstories. And that part's really interesting and exciting for me.
Yeah, I mean we get to see Thrawn. I mean that's anytime, and it's Thrawn in a look that we haven't seen before. Because he was never in the Clone Wars animated look. That's totally different than the Rebels animated look. So we get to see him, thrown into that universe. Oh, it's gonna be so cool.
Oh.
We got Morgan Elsbeth. I love her character so much. So excited for that because, we get to not only expand the Ahsoka world and the Mandalorian world a little bit with her, but it's just a great time to be a fan of the Empire. I mean,
Yeah.
seldom do we get to see that. I know everybody says, "Well, it's all about the Empire and Darth Vader and all these shows," but we never get to focus on that. We always, have the Jedi or the Force pushing through to combat the Empire, and I've wanted to see, something from the Empire's perspective without the good,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so cool to see it in an animated series. They just do very well. So, um,
Mm.
I don't have that anxiety of, here comes a live action show because I'm like, oh gosh, what are they gonna do? You know what you're gonna get from animated. They very rarely go off the beaten path. And so she said something so exciting to me after we watched it because, we were introduced to the Grand Inquisitor for a minute there, who we've seen in Rebels, and we saw in Obi-Wan, but oh man, she goes, I like his lightsaber, and I was like, what? What did you say?
I don't remember. It was so
Yeah,
long
the
ago.
spinning lightsaber. You go, I
That's my
like that
favorite.
spinning lightsaber. And I
That's
was
my
like,
favorite one. I want it.
you know, we go back to the first episode of our Bad Batch reactions when she was, this is our first animated experience with Star Wars. You know,
Well, no, there. I saw them use it in it was the same lightsaber in Ahsoka, and even then I was like, oh, it's really cool. But Ahsoka's your girl, so I'm like,
no,
I'm not
no,
gonna say I like the enemy's weaponry,
no,
but
no.
I
But what I'm
do.
getting at is just that, like, that's not a comment that I would have expected from you.
Yeah,
So
I never want lightsabers, but this one I
yeah,
want.
I mean that's something that if you're new to the channel, we
Mhm.
outline that in our Bad Batch reaction videos, and we started out with this is her first big introduction to this stuff, and so
Mhm.
to get a Tales of the Empire coming on the heels of this, there was excitement there that I got from her. I'm like, oh, we're gonna watch that together
Mhm.
too. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was just assumed. Yeah.
Yeah, because before it would have been and it was.
It's like, well, what time of day? We'll plan it. We'll see if it works out. But this one, no, definitely we will.
Yeah, and that sort of blends into a lot of conversations I'm having online with our followers. Um, we have a lot of the pushback from the crowds that are anti-animation and oh, it's not Star Wars and it's not Disney's ruining everything, and I understand where some of that comes from, but they're just not watching it. Give it a
Mm.
chance, and I think that's the biggest thing with this stuff is people aren't giving it a chance. They're writing it off before it comes out. The comments were going wild. This one had a lot more fair comments than I think we saw with the Acolyte, when that dropped. A lot more excitement for this one than anything else. We just have those people standing at the gate being like, nah, animated's for children. And
Which I was like that too. But I think after becoming a parent, I was a little bit more open minded. And now being an adult, looking at the shows that we watched when we were kids, thinking,
Mhm.
okay, well, give it a chance.
Yeah.
It's worth it, I think, now. And people I've talked to about animated shows have said pretty similar comments where they gave it a chance. Took a couple episodes for some people, but then they started getting into it too.
Yeah, I mean, even as big of a Star Wars fan as I am, I didn't touch animated for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, prior to the '90s, I saw the 2D Clone Wars, and I saw like I went to the theater to see the movie they made for the Clone Wars animated, and then I watched like the first couple episodes of the Clone Wars, on
Mm-hmm.
Cartoon Network, and then I got older and I kind of like moved away from it, and then as I got older and older, I was like, that's from the, I'm not worried about it. Boy, was I wrong. I
Yeah.
I rewatched Clone Wars, and we're getting excited because we're gonna be hopefully meeting Hayden Christensen later this year, and he was instrumental in that. I gotta tell him that because I was not into the animated. And before Obi-Wan came out, he famously said on the celebration, in Anaheim, that to prepare for it, he watched Clone Wars and he watched all those, and he appreciated those characters so much. And I was like, what are they talking about? And it was a couple weeks before Obi-Wan premiered, and I was like, I guess I'll start watching it again. Oh man, boy was I hooked. Hooked on Ahsoka, hooked on Obi-Wan, and just the great characters in that show led me to Rebels, Tales of the Jedi. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out. I promise, give it a chance. Some of it's slow. I'm never gonna tell her, "Hey, watch Clone
Mm.
Wars." I'm never gonna tell her to watch that.
You
I'll
tried.
give her a couple episodes if she's ever feeling frisky enough, but it's not gonna go beyond that. There's a lot of episodes, but Rebels, I think you should watch the whole thing. Oh my gosh,
So clearly, this trailer was very exciting for both of us.
yeah, I cannot wait for Thrawn, Vader. We're gonna see Inquisitors. We're gonna see that whole process, that we haven't seen before. A number of Inquisitors that they did show have made their, very small drops throughout the series. We saw one from Ahsoka, Tales of the Jedi, one is from there. And then, of course, some that have been in live action or Rebels are included in this too. So, super cool. I'm excited. All the original voice actors are back.
Mm-hmm.
The continuity in that, nobody is doing it as good as Star Wars is. So, and I think it's all because of Dave Filoni. He keeps everybody in the loop, and it keeps going. So
I'm a sucker for consistent branding.
they are so good
Mm-hmm.
at that. I saw
Yeah.
Jason Isaac is back. Isaacs is back, and he's rolling into the Grand Inquisitor again. I loved his portrayal, so good. So yeah, I'm excited. We got a lot to look forward to. We will most likely have a reaction to Tales of the Empire. Probably a one shot go since they're short episodes. But yeah, look for them on Disney Plus coming May the 4th. We are excited and we'll check back in when it drops.